Let's take a quick look at a few features of working with 3D text in Photoshop. Now, we start off by making our text using the horizontal type tool. So I'm just going to type 3D here, and then I can grab the move tool, move it into position, and then we can just go to 3D, new 3D extrusion from a selected layer to go from 2D to 3D text like that. Now we might want to add some materials at this point, so we could go to our front inflation material, and let's go up to the top here and add this material preset here, fabric cotton, and I'll add the same to the extrusion material as well. Now I'm also going to make a new layer here and create a 3D postcard because I want to sit my 3D text on a simple background. So I'm going to go to new mesh from layer here, postcard, and then I'm going to choose a material for my postcard. So I'm going to go back to 3D, go to the layer 1 material here, which is beneath the layer 1 mesh object there. Then I can add a material here. So again, I'm going to use that same material. Now all I need to do is go back to my layers and merge those two layers into one. So I can hold Command or Control, click on both of them, and then Command or Control and E to merge them into one. So now you can see my letters sit on that material, and if I just adjust my current view here, you can see I can kind of change the angle. If we go to this orbit option here, I can shift it around like this to get the kind of angle that I want. Now, even though our letters here are 3D, we can go in and edit the content if we like. We just need to highlight the shape there, and then we can go to edit source, and this will open up the letters in a new document, and we can change them if we want here. And then we can just close and save, and you can see how our 3D shape is updated. Now let's undo that because I think I'd rather keep it as 3D here. Now, at the moment, if we grab the move tool, you can see our 3D letters are kind of joined up. They're not really editable independently, but we can change that if we go to 3D split extrusion. And we'll get a warning because this means we can't edit the source, so we won't be able to edit the letters again now, but we can edit each letter independently of the other. So we can start to change the shapes of them like this. We can use the different parts of the axis here to change the angle and do all sorts like this. Let's change the angle of this one a touch. So you can see how we can start to mess with our 3D letters here in different ways. Now, another thing that's quite fun, if we go to our individual letters here, let's highlight the D here and perhaps move it up a little bit higher. You can see how if we go to the properties here, we can adjust different characteristics. So we can add a cap if we like, and this is effectively like a bevel around the edge of our letters, and this is particularly good for letters here. So we could perhaps up the width here, and you can see how that creates a little cap along the edge of the letters there. Now if we like, we can also inflate the front of the letters here using the angle and strength settings here. If I drag that up, and see how we can kind of create an inflated look to the front of our letters there. We could do the same with our 3 over here. So again, we'll highlight the 3, go to the cap options here, adjust the strength to inflate the front. We could also add a bevel as well. And now that we've added our bevels, we're going to need to go into the bevel materials here, and I can use that same material as before just to style up the bevel in the same way. Now, one other thing we can do is change the shape of our extrusion here. If we highlight the D again, now if we go to the D shape here, then another of these options here in the properties panel is the deform option. If we highlight that, then we can twist and taper and do all kinds of interesting things with our extrusion material here. Let's just undo that because I want to show you we can also adjust. If we go back into the deform options down here, we can go and adjust the horizontal and vertical angles of the extrusion material. So we can start to kind of bend them around like this. So I think I'll bring that to about there, and let's try adjusting the vertical as well. And you can see if we bring it too far around, we start to actually see the back side of the extrusion there. So I'm going to bring it back around. And then we can just keep tweaking until we're happy. We can always go in and rotate and reposition. Let's perhaps bring that down there a touch. And then adjust the 3 in the same way. And then, of course, we can finish off with the lighting. So we could go to our infinite light here. We could change the angle of that to bring it around that side, and that gives us more of a textured feel. Let's go in and adjust the shadow softness to soften our lights. We could perhaps add in another light coming from the other direction, and then maybe increase the softness and lower the intensity of our second light. And then when we're happy, we can hit render.